This is the Marmot 2MOA red dot. It was sent to me by Marmot to review, but I won't be pulling any punches. For example, its design is not unique. It appears to be a copy of the Bushnell TRS-25 red dot. Its specs are almost identical, though it is half the price. So the package came in this plain black cardboard box, and inside the box was the optic itself, which came with these silicone bra style lens covers, which are actually quite useful. Even though the tube of the optic is made from what appears to be milled aluminum, the lenses, the glass lenses, are not as durable. In fact, I've seen these get chipped and cracked from getting hit by plastic airsoft BBs at close range. So in general, you want to keep the lens covers on unless you're actually using your optic, just to protect them. And we'll be keeping the lens covers on during our drop test, just to be fair with the optic. Now, the package also includes a spare CR2032 style button battery. And I say spare because my unit actually came with the battery pre-installed, so having a spare is nice. It also comes with a star/Torx style adjustment wrench, and that's for tightening your mounting screw, and a microfiber cleaning cloth. In fact, the only thing that was missing, that I thought was missing, was any sort of instruction manual or warranty card. In fact, there's nothing on the box to say that it is Marmot branded, and other than a printed inventory label that says Marmot red dot sight. And there's no branding on the optic as well, which leads me to think that this is an OEM manufactured optic from China, which means that it came from a factory that just makes optics, and they make it for various brands, and they'll just put the brand, usually laser etched or painted, on the optic, but they'll sell exactly the same product under different brand names. So this may be from the same factory as the Bushnells, for all I know. One thing that is unique, or at least different, about this optic, and well, it applies to the Bushnell as well, is the positioning of the rheostat, the control for the red dot. And I believe, there you see, there we go, the red dot there. Now, this is at a 45-degree angle, which is somewhat uncommon with red dots. Usually it'll be on the right side, or it'll be across the top. I asked my Marmot rep why they did that, and his response was, the designers made it that way. Okay, but why did they make it that way? He didn't really explain that. I'll speculate, though. One reason may be for ambidextrous controls. If they are on the right side, that means if you want to adjust it with your support hand, then you'll have to reach over the optic, and having it positioned on a 45-degree angle makes it easier to access with your support hand. And it may actually have also something to do with the placement of the rheostat relative to the emitter. And if you can see it here, the emitter is actually pretty tucked in on the lower right side when you're looking down the tube, and it's practically invisible, which is which is good for a budget optic. Some budget optics, the emitter is actually blocking a much bigger part of your field of view, which is bad. So this is actually pretty nice. Now, the other reason why they might have put this at a 45-degree angle, I suspect, is because many people use these red dot optics as backup sights to their main scope, and they place it on an offset mount. So on your rifle, it wouldn't actually be mounted this way, they would be mounted on a offset. So then this is actually at 90 degrees, no longer at 45, because your offset mount is already at 45. So maybe that's why. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Here we're going to take a look at the various brightness settings of the Reticle outdoors, from 1 to
4,
11.
5.
The Reticle was
6,
point-like and crisp, with
7,
no blooming or noticeable
8,
distortions near the edges of the
9,
lens, which can happen with some
10,
budget red dots. Also, the
11.
reticle remained bright and
Okay.
visible from 11 down to 8, even in the noonday sun.
Number 2. Oh yeah, it's still working. And yes, it is still on, still working. So after about 10 minutes indoors, I took a look, and as you can see, it's still working, and no noticeable moisture or fogging on the inside. So I would say this definitely passes the water resistance test. I took the optic to the range for some recoil testing, and as you can see here, it's a rather atypical setup. I have the optic on a riser on my pistol. That's so I could co-witness it. That's for range safety, so I can make sure that the Marmot optic, should the reticle not stay zeroed in the testing, that I'm not accidentally shooting somebody else's target or somewhere else downrange. The turrets gave very audible and tactile clicks, and they were nicely etched with the direction of windage and elevation. The turret covers are nicely knurled and textured and have a small bar-shaped impression on the outside that functions like a flathead screwdriver to allow you to adjust the turrets. I prefer this design over Aimpoint's two-prong tool design, because you could use a flathead screwdriver or even a small coin to adjust these turrets. After zeroing out the optic, I fired 3 shots to get my initial group. And then I cleared the weapon and proceeded with my ammo box abuse test. Banging it repeatedly with my ammo box just simulates the use and abuse that an optic takes. You might accidentally knock over your rifle, or you might accidentally drop an actual ammo box on your optic when you're loading your trunk. In any case, I believe this more than adequately simulates the impact of a couple hundred rounds downrange, don't you think? So after that abuse, I fire 3 more rounds and see how well it held zero.
You've got about that range of adjustment. Yeah.
The lower 3 holes were the first 3 shots before the ammo box, and the next 3 holes were those after. So I'm going to say that it held zero. I'll admit, I was expecting this thing to fail, so yeah, I'm impressed. In fact, the only thing negative I have to say is, what's up with that base screw? I mean, it's sticking out. They couldn't find a base screw that was 2 millimeters shorter? Seriously. But okay, it's a $40 optic, so I'm willing to overlook it. If you are too, I'll include a link in the description below, and you can order it yourself on Amazon. And if you enjoyed watching this review, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching. Moondog out.